Okay, I'm recording. Great. So real quick, just going to state our intentions here. 13 days ago, we interpreted Sharon Klein. She is going to be hosting a workshop for us on voice acting, and she has a podcast. And so we listened to one of her podcasts, and we used it as source text to interpret. We interpreted the hour-long podcast, and then we did a quick debriefing session afterwards. And now we have some time, and we're going to come back to it. And I think what we decided we were going to do is I will play the video, and we will switch people without sound. We just hosted a song challenge, and one of the real big things we emphasized in this recent song challenge was watch your video without sound. Does it make sense? And so we're going to see if that approach works other places.
And just really quick, shameless plug, Sharon's podcast is called The Fearless Formula. So if you want to look her up, I listen to her on Spotify, but I'm sure she's on, I don't have an iPhone, so I'm sure she's on Apple Music and Apple something.
She is.
That one. I don't know how iPhone users get their podcasts, but there you go.
Appreciate it. Thank you. And if anybody actually watches us and cares and really liked the series we were doing with Satisfaction Factor, we are not done with them. In fact, I just listened to one the other day and I was like, this is great. So we're going to get back on that train soon, but we're just want to celebrate Sharon right now. So, okay. So I will watch your text, your source text and try to make sense of it. And you're going to watch my source text and try to make sense of it.
The target text.
Target text, right. So well, now it's our source.
Now it is.
Now it's our source. Okay. And what
are
else?
We gonna, do you want to actually, sorry folks, just like see this out in real time in front of you. Do you want to actually interpret it, or are we just watching for comprehension without trying to interpret it, like back translate it?
I don't know. Do you want to back translate it?
I'm nervous if I back translate that something way back here will remember the source text, and that I'll be relying on the original source text, and I'll be relying on that and not actually on what I'm seeing.
Okay, well, let's just see what happens organically. Let me know if whenever you want me to stop it, because I'll share the screen and I'll stop it. I guess we're not going to watch to interpret, but watch for comprehension and just look at the overall.
Yeah, we can watch to interpret another time.
Yeah.
Which will be fun.
You see the video?
I do. Can you make us bigger?
That's what I'm trying to think about.
Okay.
How's that?
There we go. That's better.
Okay. No, I don't see you, but I guess I don't really need to see you. Ooh,
okay, so I'm watching you, right?
You're watching me? Yes. And,
okay, great. And no sound. Good. Okay.
No sound. Okay. So real quick, I feel like last time we did this, what I can recall, and maybe you'll see evidence of, is I felt like I never really was like in on the joke. I know that's, I was watching your Frozen video, like, okay, what the real use here. Okay.
That's never... so funny. I'm sorry. I just talking about not being in on the joke. It took me like half a minute to figure out what you were talking about. I was like, am I frozen? Never mind. Wow. Okay. Moving on. It's been a long week.
Yeah. I know I don't mean it like whatever, but I mean it like they were using terminology and I just was like, oh, I didn't really prep. And so I don't think I had a C quite often, like a very well-developed C. So C in the CRP analysis. So my comprehension.
Yes.
My comprehension was there, but I don't think I trusted it. And so I couldn't trust the comprehension. Then you might see some evidence of that in my product. Trying to think of what else, where else my headspace was at. Oh,
sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
You didn't.
I was just thinking about, so I'm going to put my leg up because I'm getting comfy here. I was thinking about our decision to stand up. And at the beginning, we were like, we're probably going to like get 4 minutes into this and be like, no, we need to reset. And then we never did that. And we just went all the way through. But we also didn't prep very much, as you mentioned. And I think that I predict that that's going to come through. But there's simple stuff that we could have been more clear about if we had just done the prep. Do your prep, kids. Do your prep.
Yeah, always prep. Oh man. I still am glad that we stood, and I'm going to
Me too.
hopefully keep that going because I feel like it helped with register and it helped with use of space.
Agreed.
And I also feel like I'm always like all over the place, and I feel like this is gonna like help me stop that.
Like the, what is that? Like the weebles wobble, but they don't fall down.
Yeah, I think I've complained about that about myself in other debriefing sessions.
I feel like when I sit, I get lethargic and I can get distracted and be like, how long have we been interpreting this? Oh my gosh, I need to go get a snack. But like when I stand up, I'm like more present and engaged.
Yeah, that's a great point. We did get
Okay.
interrupted once or twice by my kid, and we just kept it going. But okay, and we're not going to
Yeah.
do a whole hour of this, by the way.
No. So yeah, what are our takeaways?
You want to start?
Stand up, do your prep, and tip your waitresses.
See if anything changes. Oh, there's caption.
Oh, no captions.
All right, they're off now.
Okay, there we go. I loved how you did that, by the way.
What part?
When you were talking about business radio and how we like, I don't know what the English was, but we like delve into different things within the business world and like bring that to you. I thought that that was very poetic. I remember seeing you doing that and being like, oh crap, I gotta step my game up with what she just put out there. All right.
You know what? I did Business Radio X, and it flowed so well.
It was like a little assimilation there.
It put me in a headspace, and I didn't stay there. Because I put my bar up. Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
And then the bar, and then you fell.
Did I say interpreter?
America. I forgot there was like another character involved in this. Anna.
She said fun to spell. I'm sorry. I'm
No,
not.
I think, but oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, go.
I was gonna say there's a time later where it comes up and you do say spell.
Oh, look at me.
At the very end, she's like, and you're like spelled it right at the end.
Oh, good. All right. So that was a thought I had there, and then I must have corrected it. Then, good for me.
Yay. I feel like you really matched her affect well. I also feel like her affect is like not the same as like Lori's affect. So the fact that you were able to take that on is really great. It's not just like, oh, it was easy for you because that's who you normally are.
You know what? Thank you, because she felt very bubbly.
Yes.
Okay, and I am not a bubbly.
You're not. You're like the goth girl in the fishnets.
What's her name? Janine Garofalo, right? Like that. That's who.
I don't understand that reference.
You don't know who Janine Garofalo is?
What are you talking about? Give me more context.
She's who would play me if I was a movie.
I was thinking Aubrey Plaza.
Oh.
Parks and Rec. She's always like.
Yeah. We'll put out a vote.
Okay.
But you never saw Reality Bites or anything like that? Okay, anyway.
Maybe a little bit.
She's just a New Yorker. Okay. So
okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Google it now.
So I appreciate that. We had a session where we had talked about this, and the affect and how our body language was presented was discussed. And I had been thinking about that because I remember in that moment trying to be bubbly, and like it took so much out of me. And even the beginning where she's like, oh darn, I missed your name, like she sounded so cute. Yep. You know, and like me, like that's not me. So
which is so funny that you bring up that particular moment, because you do that. Like when you screw up or something, you're always like that's actually something that you do, like yourself, but you were somehow able to harness that natural action for you and like make it Sharon. So that's great. It's you like took something that was yours and like morphed it into what you needed and then it worked. I like that. Now the bar is really high. Great.
Okay. Because I feel like the role shifting maybe not was clear. But you're analyzing, I gotta shut up.
It's fine, it's fine. That's what my little brother with Down syndrome always says. It's fine, it's fine.
Am I mouthing too much?
I wasn't paying attention. I feel like I'm jumping around now. I'm mouthing. We're not being negative, we're being objective. Okay. Maybe we just need to like pause and have a therapy session for me and like
That's
why
what
I can't find anything good right now.
Why? Yeah.
Jeez Louise. No, I don't know. I'm just like, wow, that was so English. And I'm just bouncing all over the place. And why am I mouthing everything? I don't know.
I wonder how close you are to the message. Should I put the sound on?
Does it have sound? Yeah, let's listen. I remember feeling like off kilter and it like took me a hot minute to settle because I remember now, like one of the first things that he was saying was talking about how, maybe you are who you are because that's how you've been taught to be and not necessarily who you would have been if no one had like forced that on you, like the nature versus nurture thing. And I remember in the moment being like, I am just butchering this. And
Yeah, I didn't get that.
yeah, I mean, that's how I remember it, the source text. And I just remember in the moment being like, it was not good.
I just right here saw you say,
I can't see your hands because there's like your name is in the way. I'm sorry.
you went, and I thought, oh, if you had waited a second, you would have internalized that some other way.
Yeah.
You would have represented that some other way. So that's the only reason why I thought
You
maybe
think I'm like close.
Yeah, I just wanted to give you the data that I saw that made that decision.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you.
How people function in the world and what their natural tendencies are and where their strengths and weaknesses are and how you can kind of move around them. So in a business sense, this totally makes sense why this would be effective.
Maybe
Well,
that
I love
I didn't
studying
make that.
patterns and tendencies, and I think that everybody brings something to the table. The problem is that we get really comfortable whether we're taught this way or raised this way.
So that was reversed. That was an ASL.
Yeah,
Not because it was reversed made it ASL, but because you had
yeah.
what it was and then was the person and then commented on it.
We'll see.
Sometimes we get good isn't what we're naturally good at. It's not the thing that gives us that natural energy. And so what we believe is that everybody should bring their natural best to an opportunity. Otherwise, it shouldn't be an opportunity. And so we need.
Yeah, this is where
I lost. In the community. We need a community full of diverse.
Because there wasn't a noun in that sentence. Because I was like, what I saw was, which first of all is not ASL. But what he was saying, like, what are we like? What is this? Like, what are we applying? And he was saying this natural energy, or like your like aura, but that did not come through in the interpretation.
Or like,
so I think that it was missing the noun. Sorry, go ahead.
No, like a passion-y, even if you had.
Yeah, it's like you can go like this, but like you have to tell me what this like you have to tell me like what is it, but I never told us what it is. and then I applied it to an opportunity. And it's just like, what are we talking about here?
The content, not the main content, but
The noun was missing from the
the
word,
noun.
from the sentence.
He said it, but you didn't put it in.
Correct.
I paused because I was like, we should be saying I saw, I heard, and
We should be. You're correct about that. We'll try. It's very English mouthy. Not sure why. What did I just spell?
Dean, my partner.
Oh, I forgot. Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
What?
I said, yeah, what do you think about that section?
Yeah, it's just, I feel like ungrounded. Like I don't have an anchor to latch onto. That, like, I don't remember in the moment so much. But like watching myself, I feel very like frantic.
Yeah.
Like when I watch you sign, and I'm not comparing, I'm just saying like, I'm not saying, oh, you're better or something, but like not in an evaluative manner, but just from what I see, even just like the calmness that you have, I'm not observing that in the interpretation that I'm seeing that I produced. And I'm wondering why. Is he speaking particularly fast? Like that really shouldn't influence it though, because like the concepts that he has are not overwhelming. I don't know.
My natural skill set to the table. Dan, who is the other business partner, brings something completely different. And we sit down and we actually bring him to the porch.
I wish I had role shifted over there to show Dean, because that's, I think.
Oh, Dan.
Dan? Oh, sorry. Dan.
I just heard
yes,
Dan, but
Dan.
I thought I saw Dean. I don't know why.
Yeah, it's possible. I should have used more of my contrastive space there. Oh, wait, no, I'm gonna back it up. So what I heard was a contrast. Like, oh, these are my skills,
Right.
these are Dan's skills. But what I saw was these are my skills, set Dan up over there and then talk about him. But I feel like it would have just been more clear to have these are Dan's skills, these are my skills, setting them up in space to contrast them. Hindsight's 2020.
Whether or not you're actually ready to hear the truth, and then whether or not we and our services.
But I hear you're saying that you're not waiting, because I already, now I have a bias, because I thought I saw those signs, and those signs indicated to me that's not a decision somebody would have made it if they had waited a minute longer. And so now I have a bias. So I don't want to like do a confirmation like bias now. That's just, like all I see. But now I'm hearing you say like something is regulating me and making me frantic. Is he talking too fast?
Right. And I just want to clarify that like the speed. Yes, there are times when a speaker's speed can definitely regulate an interpreter, myself included. But in this instance, I don't want to, I'm not blaming the speaker. Like I had tools where I could have controlled. He's not like a Guinness Book of World Records speed reader here. Like I have tools that I could have controlled the situation with, and I don't think I was utilizing my tools well.
can provide that for you. So a lot of business owners who think they can do it all and have been doing it all, but realize maybe we shouldn't be doing it.
I'm just gonna turn the sound back.
Yeah, please, I was gonna ask that, thank you.
I was trying to be too fancy, I feel like.
Hmm.
Didn't need all the.
What would you have done differently?
Let me hear.
I think he said, do people not?
I want to hear her affect.
We need to make sure that for you, I bring my natural skill set to the table. Dan, who is the other business partner, brings something completely
All right, whatever.
Great, we get to watch it again.
strict expectations in terms of you came here, you came looking for help, and this is the help that we can
missed
provide.
it,
This
but-
is how we believe.
All right, we'll just keep moving.
Just
forward.
turn the sound off.
It's okay. Willing to accept what? Did we see it already?
That you need these things.
Hmm.
But yeah, if that wasn't clear, it wasn't clear. Interesting. So wait, pause for a sec.
Yeah.
This is a symptom. This is not the problem, but the role shifting is not, I'm underutilizing role shifting. And it's interesting, like surrogacy is such a great tool because it helps, it eliminates wordiness, you know, what is that called? Circumlocution.
Circumlocution.
So what I saw was, I don't remember exactly what I saw, but it was something along the lines of and I feel if I had just become the business owner, like showing who was doing what, that would have been so much more clear.
Mm-hmm.
I feel so in terms of I heard, what I heard was definitive who was doing what. I'm helping the business owners come to decisions that they wouldn't otherwise. But what I saw was it was there, but it wasn't as clear as it could have been. I had to suss through it myself as the viewer.
I feel like there could have been a simpler path. I feel like you were working too hard.
I'm not going to argue with that.
Because I got it too, and even like we're gonna give you these things and like whatever, but I felt like it just felt.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why yeah, it's more to think about. I mean, off the top of my head, that tends to happen to me when I'm too close.
Mm.
Because it's like, if you just wait, you'll realize, and then just give that. Not eliminating details, but just getting to the core of like, what are we saying here? This is what they're saying, not, we don't need all these words leading up to it that obfuscate the message.
I think it becomes more effective because you have time to use verbs properly. You know what I mean? And like,
yeah. And topic, comment, sentence structure, because it's very jarring when here or anywhere when the subject comes at the end of the sentence. That's not how ASL works. Learning so much tonight about myself. It's fine. This is good. No, this is needed.
I think whereas I could have used a few more words in there. Yeah, I think I could have wrapped up Restaurant Impossible a little bit better there with like one or two more words, and then started that whole next topic question.
kind of like a ASL discourse where like, even if like ASL discourse tends to be like, okay, this is the thing we're going to talk about. And this is the thing we talked about. Like there was like not that closure.
And I know exactly why, and we even talk about it often because I know the whole point, especially with this host,
Mhm.
is to throw focus back to you, get it back to
Mhm.
you, get it back to you, get it back to you. And so I think I'm just like, okay, who cares? Okay, get it over.
In your defense, you had the speaker's goal in mind.
Oh, look at you. Yeah, like a good friend.
I'll
you'll
be
always
collecting
support.
that Venmo from you later. My Venmo is at. Interesting. I'm just
Yeah, the
fixated
choice
on.
to say
I'm
my
fixated.
brother's my family has a lot of teachers. My brother is a teacher, my brother's family member. So I'm confused as to
I know, and sorry. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm confused too. And it's the role shifting, baby.
Hmm.
Like, where is my role where is my space going with the space out here is okay. Where's the space here? Why are we not
I understand what you're saying.
ooh, time to sit
Well-
with that a little bit. But hey, it's good. You know what is encouraging is that I'm consistently making the same I don't want to call it an error, but the choice that
no.
I'm making consistently is not as effective as it could be. So now I know what to work on. Let's go.
I'm gonna jump a little bit more in.
Yeah, maybe we'll find our feet.
See what happens when fatigue starts to set in. Okay.
When fatigue starts. Oh, this was the point where they were talking about
yeah,
the tone of voice. That was a
I
rough
started
spot.
getting- I'm looking at my face now. Look at all my blinking. Yeah, my brain is going. My brain is
I
spiraling.
can't not look at myself. So I like.
I'm going back a minute. Did I? Because this is where I was so worried about. Did I show tone?
You're like, yeah, I remember that.
I don't know what that sentence just meant.
Maybe it would have made sense with my question before it. Wait, can we go back and see what the question was? Let's cut ourselves a little slack and let's go back and see what the question
Go
was.
put the sound on.
Sure.
You know, I think it's interesting because the way you just said that was out of opportunity to help others to be successful and whatever. Have you ever felt obligated to help someone do that and it just didn't feel easy?
Yeah, well, obligated, what's funny,
Interesting.
yeah, I guess if I'm kind of put out in front and said, okay, like I used to, when I first came onto the job I'm in, I was
That's what they said, right? Well, I could have done something a lot more. I could have.
Well, I
added-
think some of it I signed obligated and you signed obligated.
Mm,
So it lost that continuity a little bit.
I wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't watching you.
Also, I have to say that like I just want to throw out that this is kind of an odd situation where in real life, normally you don't have one interpreter. I mean, like,
You should,
unless you're in like a play or something, it's usually one interpreter at all times.
you should though. Like sometimes in meetings, if this was real, I would probably suggest let's divide the room or something.
That's true. But if this is real, you'd be watching me.
Let's hope, because this
I'm
week
kidding.
that's what's happened. I'm interpreting and I'm not paying attention. I'm not paying attention when my team is on. And as we've mentioned in our own private debriefs, this is 9/11. And for some Monday was 9/11. And for some reason this year it's just been affecting us a little bit more emotionally than I think any other year.
It's hard when you have kids that are getting older.
And they're talking about it and they're learning about it. Yeah. And so I knew like Monday I was off my game, but like by Wednesday I was like I was talking, I was interpreting into English, And I just got lost in this whole, like, my voice is so annoying right now. Why am I talking differently? Make your voice deeper. Like, and then by the time I snapped into like my body again, like I didn't know where we were. I didn't know what I was like. I was wrapping up what we had, and I wasn't taking in any of the new information. So I am like having a problem with checking out, going into autopilot. And when we were here together, my brain was like, I want to take notes. I don't want to make you nervous while I'm taking notes. Let me take notes. Let me organize my notes. How can I sneakily take notes and not make it a big thing?
I'm sorry that I regulated you like that.
But we talked about not taking notes, but then I'm like, I'm storing all this stuff in my brain, and then I can't remember it.
Yeah.
And then
For
I'm like,
future, you can take notes. It's fine. I give
well,
you
I
permission.
just went ahead and did the notes anyway, and then I go on these,
Better to
like,
ask for forgiveness than permission.
I was getting so excited about this front porch stuff that then I was having like my own other dialogues, and like, yeah. I think I need to prep and I need to pay attention. Okay, let's go back.
Okay, so we're both walking away with things that we need to work on.
So being put in a room and saying, okay, help this person. It's like, well, do they?
Well, I'm nodding because it makes sense with the English on. Should I turn let me turn the English back off.
Sure.
You must do these things. See, I'm missing words.
I understand you. Oh wait, who was that? Anna talking just now?
Yes.
Oh, that makes more sense. I thought Sharon was talking, and I was like, what is going on? What's she talking about? Okay. I forgot which side you set people up on.
I think I messed it up a few times anyway.
It's so hard to maintain over like a really long period. Not that that's an excuse. It's just a fact.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's okay. I should have like flagged that a little better, caretaker. Because like that's like his like title for like.
Yeah. And with this, it could be like supervisors.
And I think that I feel like throughout the entirety of this podcast, my brain was like freaking out because it was like caretaker. Like, I was like, how do I like which one is it? Caretaker. I don't want to look like supervisor. And then I feel like you set it up, and I was like, okay, not like I was like that was terrible, but I just like in the back of my mind, I was like, wait, does this look right? Well, it's too late now. And I think that every time I went to sign that, I had like a mini like malfunction. But I think that waiting and being like
and prepping.
like the personality, like the just something where you flag it a little more would have differentiated that. And because that almost didn't look like a noun right now. I mean, you saw the agent sign attached, but it still was like, am I taking care of you? Like what, like he's saying, and I know this because I remember briefly a blip. I don't know what the context was, but he was saying like, oh, I just noticed your caretaker personality coming through, like that trait coming through. But that was not clear from this.
I have to be honest too, and I feel like if I was a person that used our source text as ways to access this information, I don't know if I would have left with knowing the labels, like the categories. Whereas a hearing audience definitely would have walked away understanding.
Right.
I do think that I was more animated as that piece developed. And so I do think I matched, because now he calls out her inflection change.
Yeah.
And so I feel like my visual inflection changes. And so I'm patting myself on the back. I'm recognizing that.
Do it. I'm patting you too.
Because I had thought about it that night and I was worried about it. But I think there's a clear change in like that start versus the animation at the end. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
You want people to feel like it feels like when your voice is high.
Yeah.
I don't think I understand that right.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm agreeing with you. I think that what he was saying was like that moment when you get excited and your voice is all high, like that's the thing that like you want to feel. But no, it didn't come through.
You're feeling in that moment. Like, right. Okay. So that like how you exuberate, like you're
Mhm.
exuberating it. That feeling, that's what you want to latch on to. But that was not
Yeah,
you.
yeah, or it was either that or it was like, you know, that like when I caught your voice that like went up, I could tell you were excited, and like that's the moment where like that's the feeling. That feeling is the goal. Yep. At least that was intelligible.
I just
like
want to
that.
say I did indicate that that was Sharon speaking, right? That's what I did at the beginning. I made up a name sign apparently, but I don't think I've told anybody.
I guess I wasn't really
This is the new name sign.
okay.
Okay, as long as we are aware. People can't read my mind. Oh, and look, you took my sign and you used it again. Way to pay attention.
Gibberish.
I need your permission.
Hmm.
Well, I think if you roll shift out, I think you if you would set up the
Like,
two
yeah, like
people.
yeah, I know. It's the role shifting. The role shifting's killing me. And well, I don't want to say that I'm sad that I'm not working tomorrow because I'm not sad. But I want to like start paying more attention to that particular aspect of my work
Mm,
now. This is really
yeah.
helpful.
I agree. I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit
Do it.
again.
Let's watch more of your work.
There isn't a lot. I remember
I'm kidding,
feeling bad, like you're doing everything. Maybe tomorrow. I feel like we're gonna be busy all day, but I'm looking forward. Like maybe we should do another podcast like soon, and then
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because it's like creating the same, all of the same elements, like in a study. You know, science.
Yeah, right. Like you have
All the things are the same.
a control, like the experiment group and the
That's the
control group.
word.
I was gonna say Mr. Silenciolo would have known what that was called.
Oh, I excited my dog. Okay, get that. I see my
All
hand.
right. Oh, right. He asked her what's exciting you or something.
I remember getting tripped up by this legacy thing.
The legacy. Yeah. I mean, like, I understand what you mean.
I didn't know the sign for organization either.
Did you try to sign office and it went to organization? Yeah, that's me every day. Every day I go to they're like, the, whatever, such and such organization. And I'm always like, organization. I can never remember. Like, not that I can't remember, but my hands can't remember.
And I think it's because it's O's. I just like instantly reject it.
Because it's initialized.
Yeah, I'm like, no, this can't be right. But no, that's what it is.
Like, wait, now I can't even think of it. Oh, I don't even know now.
Organization, no?
Organization, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like bureau or department.
Euro.
Or
I've
donut.
never seen that.
Donut.
Donut.
Look at that ASL.
I'm not watching myself. I'm checked out. I'm like, is it okay that I'm eating while we do this?
Lori!
My dog is here. Dog, please don't lick my finger because I'm eating while we're doing this. I shouldn't be eating while we're doing this.
just know that you just signed some beautiful visual ASL. Just take the win and let's move on. Take the W.
Take it. I'm gonna keep eating.
The heck is going on with my hair? What is going on there? What happened to me? Okay, I'm back to you. Like Cindy Lou Who.
My face didn't match that, but my facial effect was off.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I think my feelings might have been coming through there.
Personal what, Chelsea?
I have to say, you too, you are standing a little bit more like regal. Like, look at you now, like you're relaxed, you're sitting back in your chair. And that's normally you. And I think you're trying to match him.
Like I'm like a poser. I'm just trying too hard.
No, I'm saying like in a good way. I think that you're.
I'm just so negative tonight. I don't know why.
You know what? I think that's good because I think most of us come to this negative when we have to watch ourselves. You know.
For sure.
Well, that's just like the honest reality. Like
Yeah.
I'm judging my skin more than I'm, my hair, like whatever. It's all like it's what we do.
And see the Satisfaction Factor podcast if you'd like to become free of that, everyone. Learn about some body neutrality, episode 76.
And why I gave myself permission to eat this.
Yes.
You'll see it all there.
The wheel has come full circle. So interesting how much I mouth. Not that like mouthing's a bad thing, but
I wonder I feel like I'm over mouthing too. And
I feel like I don't normally do that.
Do we though?
Or do I normally do it and I just don't notice?
Just don't notice that.
More to think about.
This is me. Can I get on the desk? Let me just grab that marker really quick. Let me just jot this down.
Something beautiful. I looked back and then I analyzed it and it was beautiful. That's the only beautiful thing I did.
I'm not watching you. I'm writing on the desk.
I'm telling you now that I did something beautiful. I feel like my fingers are so long. I don't know why. I just feel like they're like ginormous.
Maybe it's just the camera angle.
I need more control. Liberator. Interesting.
I was like, neighbor? I didn't even see the L's. This is why we're
this part was awful. I'm just telling you right now, this part was so awful. And then I set it up for you and you didn't do it.
Oh, what was that? What were you telling me?
This was like the high points in your life and then the low points, and it's like who's there? Like I was picturing like the rising action, the climax, the denouement, and then you're like, just not gonna use that at all.
I was not watching you. Nope, that's what I did.
But I put it here. It was so funny. My face
Man,
is
I am
just like,
not good at that. That is
OMG.
not good. I'm a bad team. Like, it's not that I'm rejecting your setups.
No,
Like,
no, I know. It was just so funny. And then I had like a crisis afterwards. I was like, well, do I keep mine or do I now use yours?
I wouldn't even have noticed.
It's funny.
I wonder if I would even see it now myself if not brought up, I
Mm.
wouldn't. I'm gonna be
Well, I don't
honest.
think you would know without the source text because if you're relying on the target text, it looks like we're talking about two different things. But if you hear it in the source text, it's the same thing, and then you see that disconnect in the target, it
So
would
if you're
probably be more obvious.
You think if you were watching this in ASL and you made it this far, you wouldn't understand what we were talking about at all?
I don't think that it would come across that you were reiterating what I was saying.
Hmm.
But I'm gonna be honest and frank with you right now. I'm not watching this right now. Okay,
Yeah, me neither.
let's get back to it.
Okay.
See, then I took your sign.
Hmm.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means. The caretaker. Here we come with the caretaker again. Now it's a verb. Who's doing that? Who's doing?
Right.
Second, I'm glad that I am critical of other people, but at least I'm not delusional about my own work.
Hmm.
Oh, that was really pretty.
That was good. What else was good about that? Yeah. Go ahead.
Like
Talk
the
about
person, like
positive.
they were spiraling.
Mhm.
Like you can just like spiral, but then you have like this safety thing to like stop and be like, no. I liked that. That was a moment in time.
Glad.
But it's still not clear who's doing who's doing what to who. Who's doing what to who, where, and when. And it's the role shifting. That was not ASL. And there, I saw two different personalities right there. That was great.
And I
But
said
I still don't understand that you're talking about a caretaker. We should have spelled, Lori, what's the rule with nouns? You spell them. That's why.
or at least set it up and we never did
Oh,
that.
look, you watched me and then you took my sign.
Mm.
You're a good team.
We learn and improve.
Wait, how far are we in? Like 94 minutes in?
I just declared that as an issue.
I love it.
Already
Wow, you're
fixed
already better.
That
was-
All right,
That was a miracle.
I'm gonna jump a little more. We'll
Please.
jump one more time and then we'll wrap up.
And then the people who do this podcast are never gonna let us interpret their podcast ever again after watching this. It's
They're like, I thought this was good.
like the
All
people that come up to you after a show and they're like, "That's beautiful," and you're like, "Do you know sign language?" And they're like, "No." What was that good character?
Good energy? I have no idea.
Oh, energy. I thought I saw clinic, so don't mind me.
I was just saying, yeah, my hands are so unsharp right now. And like, look, I'm like slouching. I'm like,
I'm sorry for laughing. It's just no, it's just like this is real life. This is real life.
my fingers stopped like fully producing. So I got real lazy. Look. Strategy.
Hiring strategy. Good energy. Okay. Talking to Anna now. That was that evaluative language. That was very clear. And there you were for analysis paralysis. That was your favorite part of the whole podcast.
Oh, and I missed it. My dog came in. I got stuck.
You've just said analysis paralysis. That was beautiful.
Mm.
Prosody. I'm lacking prosody, so I have like no sentential boundaries. So it's
Okay.
hard to understand like who, what, where, when, why, and how because of the lack of sentential boundaries.
Yeah, that's what
Which
we
is
were saying earlier too.
weird. I mean, okay, can we talk about this for a second?
Absolutely.
Because now I'm having a moment where I'm like, well, I interpret for like 7 hours a day, and the people that I'm interpreting for seem to understand each other. But this is a good moment. I'm just like, wow, it's a great frame to pause that on. I'm like, do I lack these sentential boundaries? Well, I have to say, maybe I'm just spitballing. Maybe the reason that it's exposing my lack of prosody and sentential boundaries here is because in the setting that I work in, it's a lot of give and take. So it's very clear. My turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. And so it's not just like one whole huge chunk of text that has to be broken into parts. Like, here's a thought, here's a thought,
This
here's
is
a
a
thought.
my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn, and I'm taking you the your turn, and you're taking the my turn, and I would think people talk for about 8 minutes in a clip.
It depends. I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I'm processing. I'm just saying, I wonder if this is exposing my weakness because it is so much talking for such a continuous amount. And it's not like a normal, I shouldn't say normal. It's not a dialogical discourse. It's more, she asks him a question and then he just goes for a really long time. Which is part of interpreting, like people do that. So you have to be able to do that too. But I'm just like wondering if this comes up in my daily work and I just like don't notice it. So now I'm going to be more conscious of this. Okay, so sentential boundaries and prosody and rule shifting. I got 2 things to work on. I'm writing it down. You can keep going if you really want to. I'm just jumping all over the place. I need to nail my feet to the floor. That's straight up English.
I'm confused about the people a little bit.
It's the strategist that he hired.
Hmm.
And the strategist needs to ask him 3 questions and 3 questions only to help him deliver his vision. Sorry, you know sign language, but
Right, there aren't 3 people in this situation. There's just them.
there's 2.
Yeah, it looked like there were 3.
Oh, interesting. I thought there was only 2. Well, that's more use of space and Role shifting.
I wish I used my hands more in my interpreting and not so much my mouth.
I feel like you need to roll your sleeves up a little. Just a
Hmm.
little.
I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know what you were saying either, but I was also only half paying attention.
I'm gonna go back because I don't want to like just be like, oh, whatever. Okay, maybe it
No,
wasn't.
it's
Maybe it wasn't clear, and
well, I'll pay attention this time too.
No, I'll definitely. But you can.
There's Sharon.
My made up sign name. It's really cool because you're not saying who's wrong or prescribing blame or something is negative. Man, they're awful. Oh. Give you a negative label, right? Special witness role. Okay, I thought that made sense.
Mm-hmm. It made sense because I was watching it this time.
I wasn't just like, oh, you have fat fingers and need to roll up your sleeves, right?
Maybe I'm just comparing my fingers to your fingers, and I feel like, what is that? Like the David Bowie, like that character in Labyrinth or whatever. Such long fingers.
Mm.
I can't control my fingers though, like the length.
I think it's where your camera is. I'm gonna put my camera down more. Like yours is in front of you, mine is coming down.
Like yours is higher than you.
Mm-hmm. That's what it
Yeah,
looks
mine is sitting on an American Sign Language dictionary because it's I can't make it much higher. So much mouthing. Look at me. We just finished this a sign challenge with no mouthing.
I know.
Maybe next time we got to interpret this podcast and we'll use one handshake for the.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, the 4 C's.
Should I back up a little bit?
No, because it's still not going to make sense. Oh, blear.
See, that wasn't, it wasn't indicated that that's one of
But
the.
see, I said character confidence. Like you got to spell it because then all of a sudden I'm putting out 4 C's and I'm like, what the heck are these 4 C's? I feel like it's interesting.
What
I feel insulted by my own mouthing. Do you know what I mean?
Tell me more.
So I recently worked with a team who was like so over mouthy that like I was their team and like I was offended for the deaf person. It was like, do you think that I'm dumb, that I don't understand the signs on your hands? You know? And I feel like it's kind of oppressive. If I feel like it's even more oppressive. Like, listen, if somebody wants English, mouth away, please.
Yeah.
You know? But if I'm like what is that for? Like, we don't need that. We don't need that. What is that happening? You know?
And I think we've established that our imaginary audience isn't English, isn't looking
Right.
for.
Well, I think another issue here is I can tell you right now, I did not have an imaginary audience for this.
Right.
By no stretch of the imagination did I have anyone in mind as an audience.
No. We'll have to make sure that we are clear about that next time. I mean, my imaginary go-to is always the same person, but we should declare that and make it clear.
Like bring it to the forefront because, all right, I'm writing things down. You can go without me.
Always have an audience, man. Okay. Like all kinds of people are amazing, right? Like the content is missing, but that's
Right,
what I'm
it's
saying,
like the personality label. I think you were saying like every
all of
person is
the
important.
types, right? I don't feel like maybe like again, like the C for me. I'm not trying to give you a reason, but
No, that's fine.
I
I
see.
think, go ahead, please.
No, because I was gonna turn it about me, and let's
Do it. I was gonna just agree with you about C. Go ahead, I'm done.
I was just gonna say, like, I can see that I have an R. I see that R very clearly. And now even like watching me sign, that R is coming back very clearly. But I don't think I usually struggle with R's. I think I'm very like visually,
It just happens for
it
you.
just
Hate
happens,
you.
right? But
Hate you.
I see this, I see the impact of the C. But I don't want to again create like a particular bias because I said that and now I'm finding evidence for it.
Right, I get that. I'm still taking notes. I definitely struggled with C with this, but I should not have struggled to the degree that I did.
Well, we should have
And-
prepped.
Well, we should have prepped. We should have prepped. And I think that I had in my mind like what this was gonna be. And then it happened and then it wasn't. And I was like, just kidding. And I think that I might have been like holding on to my expectation. We talk about this, right? Like what is that conversation we have where it's like if you hold on to your expectation too long, you start to skew. Like your preconceived, like this is what's gonna happen. And then if like a schema or something. Then if you go in and the schema doesn't match, if you keep like a tight grip on that schema, it's a disservice to the message because it's gonna be skewed because the schema is not the schema. My schema is not the schema.
Right.
Prep. It's all about prep. Comes back to prep.
Oh boy, we are okay. I'm gonna keep going.
Listen, we're being honest. Yeah, see, it's like not clear at all.
She's a care believer. And it makes me mad because if you could hear it, it's there. We didn't put it there.
Oh, for sure. It's not our fault. I mean, it's not their fault. It's on us as the interpreters. It's not like the message wasn't clear. The source message. Oh, I loved that. See, you have great moments.
We should just assume that anything that we're drawn to is going to have like the IGMA test. What is the Ingram?
Enneagram.
Thank you. And like, I don't think I don't know.
It's so funny because this
I
was like
guess
this is coming up in my personal life too, because I like go to a small group, women's group at my church, and on Monday. And the question they asked, it was like, oh, we don't know each other. Let's all get to know each other. Okay, everyone, let's go around the room, say like, whatever, your favorite food and like what Enneagram type you are. And I was like, no way.
I gotta find, why is everybody finding that test but me?
I'll send it to you.
I feel like I was being bubbly like her, and that's not me.
Yeah, for sure. That was all affect, baby.
And we're all at the end of it. Again, I'm just like more mimey gestury and less wordy. I gotta be more wordy.
I need to take some of your mimey gestury. Can we just like share a little bit? Oh, and then we're talking about a voice again.
Nope, taking notes. Checked out.
I need to stop signing, make sure. Darn it, this is on the internet for the world to see.
The world, what, because of that?
No, I said this is on the internet for the world to see. Great.
I was interpreting something about the world. That's why I was like, what?
Oh, no, I wasn't
You were
looking at you at
talking,
all.
then
I
I'm
wasn't
signing
looking
with-
at you at all. I was looking at my enormous, like, tree beard fingers.
It's just because of, it's right in the camera, I promise you.
Right, my fingers look smaller now. You're right, it is. It's the angle.
Perspective, it's the camera perspective, whatever.
I didn't think this is my first time ever standing up on this computer, so
The world positivity spreads because of that? Is that what you took away, or is I making that up?
I wasn't paying attention because you were talking at the same time I was watching. They want to heal, health, how heal,
You're like a
health?
healthy team. I take notes.
Yeah, this is rough, man.
Barriers are there. Hold off. There's stress. I'm looking at my motivation behind communication is effective or not for me. If you know those, it's a barrier. You can break them down. Team can easy assess together.
Right now you're just glossy.
Well, it's 'cause, yeah, I got the crap. I don't know what I just said either.
Well, I wasn't sure what you were doing to make it happen. You did something and then it happened.
I don't want to go backwards.
Or is it time to retire?
So I think it's time
Time to be a real estate agent.
Okay. Yeah. So it's really cool, the energy, because you feel like, ooh, satisfied. You
Okay, so you're also not giving yourself lag time too.
my plans are happening. That's what's happened. Like you're watching the person, you're watching your team, and they're working together, and you see if you're doing it, if it's successful or not. It happens. So I say what happens twice, but I don't know what any of that means.
I can't even watch myself.
Okay, so let's wrap up. There's 2 more minutes left.
I don't think it's gonna get better in the last 3 minutes, so we can just call it.
All right. Whoops, I did not mean to go back to the beginning.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that's enough trauma for one day.
So what are our thoughts?
I have notes
Let me hear that.
about things that I need to work on, that I need to pay attention to in my own work. First off, in recording something, if I'm not actually like interpreting for someone, I need to have an audience, like an actual audience in mind. I need to pay more attention to my surrogacy and just like shifting and use of space, not token space, but like surrogacy and like that use of space. And just sentential boundaries and prosody, which are pretty much like literally the basics for
No.
making a message come through. But hey, the fact that I can recognize it is something.
For sure. I need to be present.
Oh, and prep. I need to add prep.
Oh, prep. Yeah, I need to prep. I
Hold
need to
on.
prep. I need
Hold
to
on
be
one sec.
present.
Here it is. I wrote it.
Yeah. I need to prep and be present. Well, I'll have it on video. Okay. I need to prep and be present. I need to I feel like I'm not making excuses, but I know that I was like rushing to switch it over. Like I didn't want to bleed into you. I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I think I
That
just,
pre-recorded thing where you're like,
I just gotta, if it's in my turn, it's in my turn, and just give myself that permission, and give myself that permission every time, because we went through this with the satisfaction factor, where I was struggling with that, and then we're like, nope, we're gonna run over, and it actually helps the other person when you run over.
I was just gonna say that as your team, I give you permission because you're giving me this lead time.
So when we come together, not today, but when we come together to do it again, let's make sure we establish our audience
Mhm.
goals and like
Mhm.
remind ourselves like don't rush yourself, stay
Yeah.
in control, like
I'll
don't
put that
rush.
down too.
I feel like I need more words and more sharpness.
Hmm.
I can definitely see how I was getting more and more lazy as it went on, which sometimes served me, but sometimes isn't enough to get the point out.
Mhm.
Gotta think about what the audience is gonna take away. I never think about that.
The
I
end
think
user.
I think about the short term moment. Like in this moment right now, do you understand what I just said? No,
Mhm.
let me fix it. Yes, let me move on. Right. But I don't think of it on like a macro overall level. When you walk away from this, what are your key takeaways and are they the same?
And that's
So
like Colonimus 101, where it's like, what's the goal?
it's the goal, the overall goal, not like this minute, this minute, this
Mhm.
minute, this minute goal. Like overall, what are the goals? And
So
yeah.
like, I think that's why Colonimus is so brilliant, because it's like theme, main point, goal. It's
Mhm.
all keeping you up here so that all of this makes sense with what's up here.
Yeah. That's what I need. Yeah. Okay. I even now, like I knew what my R's were. I wasn't entirely sure what the C's are. And because I had no C's, I have no goals and themes. I
Hmm,
still don't know if I can tell you what the goals or themes are.
that's interesting.
What
I
was
feel
the
like
goal?
I did not have very
Like,
many R's. I saw us sitting on the porch. My hair is like, wow, it's a whole thing. I saw us sitting on the porch. I definitely saw that. Um, right after I freaked out about if I should use the sign for porch or not, and if I should
and
use
then you decided
porch
to
or
pull.
porch or porch.
That was my fault. I feel like I've screwed you up because you had come in saying, I'm gonna finger swell porch, and then I went ahead and said, nah, porch.
Is that New York?
Yeah, I think it's yeah.
Okay, because I know Midwest. I've seen porch,
Stoop, maybe.
stoop.
That's stupid.
And what is the name of the show? The front stoop. The front stoop. That's like the ghetto version.
That's the New
It's like
York version.
the New York
What are you
version.
talking about?
Love it. So yeah, I forget what you're talking about. Oh, R's. Yeah, I don't think I had an R. I also don't think, I mean, listen, this is not an adequate excuse. I think it's just a fact, is that like I don't have so much experience with like corporate America. I feel like most of my like understanding of like actual like boardrooms and things like that is like what I hear from Adam Grant.
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
like Adam Grant is my R for corporate America, because
Well,
I'm in a company that is like corporate America, but I'm a peon. Here's the totem pole. I'm down here. I never see what happens up there. I don't even know what that looks like. You know, I imagine it like the West Wing or something, where there's long conference tables with like a little speaker in the middle, and that's like as much as I got, you know?
we're gonna like switch and do another podcast and switch where I'll be Joe and you'll be Sharon, and I think it'll be really good. I mean, I do have a weird obsession with occupational psychology, and
Yeah.
so I think that is interesting. And that's another thing, like we never had a like clear decision on like why we were picking who. We were just
It was
like,
like whatever. I think we literally like pretty much almost played rock, paper, scissors. Like, you
yeah.
want Sharon? You want Joe? Okay, sure.
Yeah, I feel like we always come into this a little like lack, like blah. But doing this and
We
like
do.
following up with the deliberate practice, I think this was really impactful for me.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I appreciate this.
Yeah, thank you for forcing me to do it.
Yeah, see,
No, I love it. No, honestly, I
we
love
always
it. It's
go
great.
into it like, meh.
We just have to like figure out how to take that energy and reverse it and like front load that and be like, let's do this at the beginning, and then maybe the
Maybe
rest
it's
will
not like
follow.
8 o'clock on a Friday at the end of the week.
It was a bad decision, but I mean, no, it was a good decision because we learned something.
You're right. You're right. We're never,
But
yeah.
let's learn that we don't do it again on a Friday night.
We already know that we're interpreting prima donnas and like we need the weather right and the lighting right and the chairs to be so soft. Like we already know that about ourselves.
I hate that for us. but yeah.
Mm.
But then
All
like
right.
why can I be like in a warehouse and it's like 140 degrees and I'm literally like sweat is pouring down my body and like I can be an effective interpreter there. But then when I'm like in the comfort of
hope.
my own home, I'm like
We hope, we think.
yeah.
Because this is supposed to be like us at our optimals, right? Like
I
we have all of
know.
our controls and our comforts and our support animals, but
Your support animal.
but yeah, I do feel very disappointed in that product, in that video.
Same. But it is we learned from it.
Yeah.
We learned from it. So it wasn't useless.
I feel like the laziness is like the whole theme. Like I'm disappointed in that, and I was like, because my prep was lazy, my in the moment was lazy, all of it. Like I don't like that that's the one word because lazy has so many negative connotations, but like
You don't
not,
mean it in that sense.
I don't. I just mean
Like
like
lackadaisical.
well, like my sign was like lazy, like my choices were lazy. I took all the shortcuts. We didn't prep, we didn't think of the goals. I never once thought of the goals. I never once came up with a theme. Forget about the fact that like this guy has this whole thing and there's all these character types. Like
We could have looked at the website. Well, to be fair, I looked at the website and the
we
content is not free, so you couldn't see the kinds of people without paying. I'm just kidding.
Was there show notes?
We
Did
know his phone number. We could have texted him.
I know we could have, there's so many things we could do better. So we're okay. So what all that matters is that the next time we do something we're proud of.
When you know better, you do better. Hopefully. let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah. And I think so for me, yeah, I have all of these things that I put down, but like why? What is the behind of it? And I think that it was allowing myself to be regulated by outside things and not giving myself, not being like, hold the phone. Like, what am I doing right now? And just allowing myself to just be frantic. And it's like not even, I don't even remember in the moment. I remember feeling a little stressed and like, but you know when you're like interpreting and you're like in the groove and you're like yeah, butter, like did not feel like that. But I like also wasn't expecting to feel like that, so I was like, oh, this is like, yeah, this is exactly how I thought this was gonna go. But watching the end product, it was like, whoa, that was oof. So just like taking control of my process and allowing myself to do what I need to do in order to have a clear product. And somehow that franticness just manifests in these things. Like these things are not the problem. Something behind it is the problem that causes these things.
So what is
I
it?
still think about, I think that it's allowing myself to be regulated by not admitting like I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I think I tricked, I don't want to talk about this too much longer, but I think I was tricked into thinking I tricked myself into thinking that I understood. But it's like, did I really understand? If I didn't have like a good R, like you can't interpret what you don't understand.
Right.
So like if I'm not coming up with like, oh yeah, I know what that means, I know what that looks like, how am I expected to give that to other people? How can I expect to effectively give that to other people? I can't, and I didn't. Oh.
Okay.
Next time.
Write that down and we'll start here next time. And what else was I gonna say? I don't remember.
I'm sorry.
Okay, no, that's it. I was gonna make a note for us for next time, but it's okay. It'll come to me or it won't.
Okay. You can write notes. I give you permission.
Thank you. I'm gonna have to.
Alrighty.
All right, well, thank you again for your time and giving me the space to
The
practice.
space.
Mhm.
I love it.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too. Thank you, team.
I'll see you in the morning. Yep.